the woman suddenly floated off the ground. Her husband hurriedly called for emergency assistance, but the medical personnel who arrived tried everything, but couldn't pull her down. After 3 hours of effort, a professor took measurements and discovered that her height above the ground had increased by another 5 centimeters, so the doctor suggested drawing her blood first. While waiting for the next test results, over the next few days, the woman had risen from hovering 5 centimeters to 50 centimeters above the ground. She floated in the air, unable to do anything, even eating, and using the restroom had to be done in place. Even when sleeping, she had to float in midair. For such a rare condition, even the doctors couldn't explain the cause. They could only use heavy objects to slow her ascent, but it was ineffective. As time passed, the woman had risen to the ceiling. That day, a well-known expert came to visit. They conducted a series of experiments on the woman, but according to the current data, in 3 months, she would reach a height of 4,000 meters. By then, she would not only need sufficient food, but also have to consider warmth and oxygen levels, and in a few more months, the woman would cross the Kármán line. The Kármán line is the boundary between the atmosphere and outer space, where humans cannot survive. This meant the woman would disappear. Her husband firmly believed there must be another solution, but with current technology, experts couldn't explain the phenomenon, or find any way to resolve it. The only thing her family could do now, was to make her remaining days as comfortable and peaceful as possible. Hearing this result, the woman felt deeply saddened, because by then, her head had already reached the ceiling of their home. Her husband rushed to the second floor and broke open the roof, just to make her more comfortable. At that moment, her daughter was already asleep, and the mother could only silently watch her through the floor. The next day, half of the woman's body had risen above the second floor. Her daughter was considering giving up her exams to stay with her, but the mother got angry, and insisted she focus on her studies, and not be affected by her situation. They were clearly caring for each other, but their words turned into hurtful exchanges. That day, when the daughter came home from school, as soon as she walked in, she saw that her mother's feet were tied with a rope. It turned out her husband couldn't bear to let his wife go, so he tied a rope around her ankle,